I messed up, don't look like I did.
Yeah. That was cool. The thing that I always like about your bands is that, well, the charts, you seem to play interesting stuff, That everybody just recycles the same garbage. I just can't believe how often, like just this last tune in particular. Nobody's going to play that this year, but probably you guys. Because it's cool. It's off the beaten path. It's not just Ellington, which is getting old, which is a cool thing, but there's a time and a place for all of it. And I always appreciate that about your teacher. And you should be, happy that you're getting that kind of exposure to this type of music because, we don't just live in one era. This music spans a lot of eras. And to just kind of hover in one zone is sort of a disservice to players and to the music too. So that's really cool. Thank you. Very nice. Lots of really good things. Every clinic I do, though, I open it up by asking you all, how do you feel that was on par to how you normally play? Was it pretty much where you normally hang, or did you rise above the way what you might have expected, or was it below in any sort of standard? Anybody? Assessments? Because this is an important part of playing music. And anything you do in your life is being able to step back and sort of assess. Yes?
I think we started out a little bit below our standard, but once we got used to being on the stage and playing, we got way more comfortable, and I think we actually went above our standard.
Yeah, cool. Great observation. Anything else? There's no wrong answer. Yes, sir?
Our attention to detail is a little bit lower than par.
Yeah. A little bit less than what you're used to?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a pretty common thing. Usually, time gets funny for most people when they get on a stage like this. Time gets funny. I didn't sense that. In fact, your first tune, the groove was really nice. Of course, it's hard to screw up the groove on that tune. It just feels so good. And if you know the recordings of that tune, it's pretty hard to play it poorly. Or you're just not listening to music. I mean, you either just listen to that music and you play that song the way it's meant, or otherwise it just flat out doesn't work. So, yeah, I think the band sounds really, really good. Lots of great things going on. That's like the bass bone sound I've heard in a high school band in a long time. Very good. And in spots, I could even use more of you. So you start just. Whoa! Calm down, Andrew. Wow. I thought you went down.
Good thing it was pointed the other way.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we got an early doctor visit there. Is that wrong?
Apparently I need to lose some weight. Yeah.
Just stick it on there, everybody.
Can you use it?
Just use it. It just goes on. It'll just go on, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
I got it.
Okay. That's all. Yeah.
Okay, anyways.
Great. Just a couple of notes. Stanley, you're a marvelous player, but I think one of your shortcomings is the tendency to get a little pitchy. And on the first tune in the solo section, really bear down on where you're getting, because the accuracy of some of the pitches just wasn't where I think you'd want it to be. So if you listen back to the recording, just listen to that stuff and just spend a little bit of time. It's a great exercise where you just play each beat of a 4-beat walking line. And then you just play super slow. Bing, and look at the tuner. And then play the next one. Bing, look at the tuner. And then play bing, bing. And then close your eyes. Bing, bing. Get yourself to that spot. It seems incredibly tedious, but it's one of those things that bass players have to do to really ingrain better pitch. And so, your time feel is always exceptional. Always sounds good. I love hearing you, and I like working with you in my band at Bellevue, but that's your weakness. So just keep honing in on that, because that's something that can improve in your playing. Drummer, I like all that you're doing on this first tune. Just make sure that the comping of your left hand is really meaningful. There are times when we comp just for comping's sake, but make sure what you're doing is meaningful and not sort of getting in the way of the pianist. Okay? It wasn't obtuse. It wasn't over the top. But it's just one of those things that everything that you do, you want to make sure that it's a real positive contribution. Your time is great, and it just swings like crazy on the first tune, so that was really good. Rhythm section also, I felt like you guys made really, really good transitions from solo to solo. That's something that 95% of the bands don't do. They just kind of truck along doing their thing. And I really appreciate the fact that you guys are taking great care to go from one person to the next and really altering the landscape of the dynamic and even the sound, the shifting cymbals and feel and everything. So really good. I mean, basically across the board, I felt like the rhythm section, what you were doing there, just to support the people that are standing up and pretty much hanging it out there and doing the solo, you're going above and beyond the call. So thank you. And one other positive thing that I want to say here. Trumpets, really, really nice unisons. We need to just check out the very tail end of this melody on the first tune. So pull up Whisper Not. And you know, the other thing, just all of you, the person managing the booth was doing not a great job with the mics in terms of riding the mic volume. But you're also, Mr. Kim had to go back there and move that microphone for you. You played your solo 3 feet from the microphone. Okay? It's time to put your big boy and big girl pants on. When you come onto the stage, I call it controlling the box or mind the box. The box is this little area around you. And the first thing you do when you come onto a session like this or a concert or whatever it is, you make sure you're comfortable. How's your stand? This is just like basic how to survive as a musician. How's your stand? How's your setup? Everything cool? You're not going to fall off the back of the stage? Your mutes are there. Can I get them? Right? Now, you got a solo. Where's the mic? If it's here, can I read my music? No, you couldn't. So you had to go over here. And when you're in Harmon, you got to address that. So if you like to read over this way, get the mic over here. That's your responsibility. He's got way too much stuff to deal with. So take care of your space, everybody. And when you've got a solo, find the mic before the song starts. Not a second before you're going to play. And then, people in the band, if that person has failed in their duty to get their area set up, you got to step up. And if they're trying to do a solo, maybe make sure, take around and move that mic and get in. This is just, not that it didn't happen, but it's something you have to be willing to do. I mean, in a lot of the bands I do, you find yourself constantly helping other people. Oh, the bass player, he needs a page turn. Oh, the sax mic is, step up. Be aware of what's going on around you because people need help a lot of times. And they're so concentrating on their parts that they need you to step up and give them a little bit of help. So, let's just clean up this last little bit, a little bit of housekeeping. Everybody, 89. 89. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And use that up tongue. Boo-ba-doo-be-da. So it really speaks on the low stuff. Okay. The other thing is, I just wouldn't play this unison that loud. Ba-da-da-da. It's a unison. We don't have to yell at us. Ba-ba-doo-da. Ba-doo-da. Ba-doo-dee. Dee-dee. Ba-doo-dee. And pass off instead of going from boo-dee. I'd like to go boo-da-dee-da, boo-doo-dee, boo-dee. So instead of it making such a stop and start of dynamics there, you guys hand the melody off to the people instead of like dropping the baton and then having them pick it up quietly, okay? So that's just a musical thing. I would take the shape of that one down a little bit. So let's try it one more time at 88 with a lighter unison and then maybe a little bit more of a decrescendo into the next melody. So it's not so crowbar. Ready? 88, 89. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, sorry.
Right? No, it's okay. There's no apologies in here. But I would maybe not be so strong there, drums, at the end of that.
Yeah, that's just what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just a little lighter. It's more reserved. You know, you got your chance to kind of blow big. And this is just the melody. And remember, this is ultimately still just a combo tune, right? And I've got to tell you, the blend with you guys was outstanding. The whole intro, I mean, both times, it was just beautiful. Tuning was great with tenor and harmony. I mean, that could be tough. So, hats off to you guys. Okay, let's go to the second tune, folks. All right, Bones. You guys kind of get the extra star for section work. I mean, the balance and the blend amongst the whole section was ultimately, in my opinion, not that we're giving out stars, but I do like to kind of pat people on the back. It just sounds like you play together a lot. It sounds like you're listening a lot, and so that the sound and the blend and the balance is really good. Not that it's bad anywhere else, but they were exceptional, okay? So just take your tip, everybody, from the Bones. These guys are on the money when it comes to that. The place where most of us fail is that we generally don't blow up to our leads. When you get a band this good in a district like this, where there's plenty of talent, we generally find strong players in the leads everywhere. We often find strong players in the section, but sometimes we don't find strong personalities in the section. People who are willing to play up in volume, you know? What I mean is some people just take the role of, they think, oh, I'm on third trumpet or fourth trumpet, whatever, not that important. Wrong. You're every bit as important as the lead players. So make sure that you're producing a sound that's necessary to play up. The trombone section, every person is playing up to the lead. So that's where we all have to make those assessments in the section by section. Are we playing up to the lead, or are we hanging that person out to dry? Okay? Generally it's good, but that's always something we can work on with a really good band like this. Drummers, always, if you have any stick changes, you bring a towel.
Okay.
Why do you bring a towel?
Because I...
Clunk, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you put the towel?
Right.
No.
Oh,
Right here.
okay.
And this way, if you have to go to and from the drum set, if you have to go to and from the sticks or the brushes, they're right there. And you one hand it, you one hand, you're not going.
Okay.
Because even that's distracting. If you go down like this for a second, what's this going to do? Start sagging. Okay? So, this is your drum set. This is controlling the box. So there's your towel, and there's your thing, and you grab your sticks, and it's seamless. Okay? Great was great playing, but that's just one of those. I wouldn't be talking about this stupid little stuff if you weren't a great band. But this is the stuff that can make a difference for you. Okay, Bones, or the whole band really, embrace the dissonance in this song. There's plenty of spots when we're half steps and whole steps. And in particular, like the stuff right before the double time in the sax section, in the sax solo. So where is that double time? What, 41. Can we take 29? And David, will you please count them in just so you get exactly the right tempo that you want? 29. 1, 2, 1. Within the chord. That's what I'm talking about, embracing the dissonance. So don't be afraid of the whole step. It's your friend in this type of music, okay? Sometimes it's not your friend. In this type of tune, it really is. So you have to bring that out. Start with the low guys first. Put your note there. Good. Now you go to the B for a second. You play the same thing. You both play the B, right? Go. Then you go to the C sharp. You hear the waves at first? Ba, then it steadies out. So that's a good thing to do when you have dissonant chords. You take the unison, and then you try your whole step. Try it in just you two. B's. Now can you sing the whole step? Then tag it together. That's a a true whole step. So if you don't trust where it is on your horn or where it feels, when you go to play that chord, it's always going to be a little bit, not so good. So work on those individually, and you've got to hear that whole step above so it will sound good. One last shot, Bones, you will play the whole section. I'm going to give you that whole section. I'm going to go 1, 2. That's it, and we go on. 1, 2. Better, because that's the one thing I felt like you were weak on, blowing across the line. One more time, everybody. 4 before 41. 4 before 41. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Does that feel like it's a double time you? Dang, 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 dang. You started off about 20 clicks faster than double time. So how are you going to figure out what that feels like? The bar before you going 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and go, jadu, gada, bang. Okay? So if the bar before you set up, you have to be subdivided. Because that time it was some weird non-double time. Okay? It wasn't that awkward out there. But that's what you have to do on all those transitions, is to make that better. Okay, that's all I really cared about there. But tenor, really nice solo. If anything, when it goes into double time field, try to dig into the swing field. It's a little straightish for me. So work on your 8th note lines. And it doesn't even have to be over a set of changes. You just got to be able to play some scales with a little bit more swing feel, a better swing feel, because it's a little bit straight for what I'd like. The playing otherwise was really nice. Okay? I just said overall that was really exceptional. The ballad was great. This early in the year to play a ballad with that much, maturity is awesome. Okay, 2, 3. Okay, Stanley, this is not an easy line, is it? Yeah. So the low notes are your weakness. So you really got to get accurate and dig into them. The articulation was generally good, but that sometimes you're not getting as clean of a grab on the low notes. Okay. Yeah. So really just dig into it. Okay. Can you count them off again so we can just hear this? You get the right tempo. Yeah. See, it's written in here. He wants you to play a longer note. You're stopping the sound. Ooh da do do dee da ba do da. Put it. That's better. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really work in this setting. He found that out the other night when he was totally throwing chowder all over this one section in my bed. But I love him.
I do love him too.
But
He drives me nuts.
But again, you need to put your big boy pants on a little more often. It's fun to have fun, but you really got to make this line speak. Bo bo do dee do 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 dee. One more time. 1, 2, play the tune. You're in. Everybody else? No. Wait. That's cool. Is that I just playing straight dotted quarters doesn't really fit the groove very well.
Okay.
So there's a lot of suggestions. If you normally on the piano on this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he's playing a lot of attacking chords within the groove. You could maybe even play some more sustained stuff. Ring, come, but the straight dotted quarter just doesn't really work right there. Something that more fits the groove. And it's not your fault. You're just doing the slashes that are on the part. So you'll have to address that a little bit. Okay, but that's better, Stanley. Just don't phone it in. Again, soloist, find the mic. Here we go. Awesome background work. Really great attention to details on this background stuff. It was just, that's another thing that people just don't really take care of business on. And it was really, it makes a difference to me. The people that really care about what you're doing, it really makes a difference. It really makes a difference. Maybe you don't think that your parents will hear that, because maybe they're not, music professors or musicians or whatever. But man, the people that really are digging in and listening, it's incredible. But the effect for just the general audience is pretty immense too. So just keep taking care of business. There was one spot I want to hear on this though. Everybody, we're going to start at 25 together. The 8th note. You need to make the longer first one and a shorter second one when you go do-da, 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 do-da. That phrase has got to be a longer first note to a shorter second note. Here we go at 25. 1, 2, ready, go. Second tenor, Barry. Yeah.
Could it also be that it's not enough air support, just hitting those?
Yeah, on the verse, that's what we want. Yeah, definitely. It's like 1, 2, da-da. It's got to be more energy behind it. Can I hear just second tenors, Barry's, and rhythm section? And bone 2, 3, and 4. Okay? This is not as clean as it could be. 1, 2, 25. Got to be right on top of the beat to make that work. Okay, everybody, that's better, guys. It's just, trying harder because some weird guy that you've never seen before is yelling at you. You got to try hard all the time. Here we go. You know me. You know me. You know me. Okay, here we go. 25. It sounds great, guys. If we're talking about this stuff, we're in good shape, right? 25, 2, 3, 4. There's chances like this where we want to hit notes and get away from them. So when we get to the 12-8 bar again, after the 6-8, kind of hit it with a sting and then get out of the way over the course of 4 beats. Here we are. 33. One more time. 33. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first couple bars of that section, it's not as groovy. In that section, I just want you to feel the swinging component of what's going on there. It's written into these guys' lines, and you got to make sure that you're really swinging a little bit harder there. It's nitpicky, but it's the way it is. Okay, 52, everybody. I want to hear the soloist a little bit now, so I can really hear you. Okay. The thing about this, well, here we go. 52, ready? 1, 2, ready, go. playing. What I will say is, are you just kind of going off this action here a little bit?
Kind of parts of that.
Yeah, yeah. I would, on a song like this, there's all these opportunities to play much wider intervals. You know, in the setting that we get improvisationally, it's mostly a lot of just straight ahead jazz tunes and blues and all that stuff. So people end up putting off a bunch of streams of eighth notes. And that's really typical from how we learn to practice. But in a song like this, I'd be thinking, be-do-dee, ba-do-bo-de, be-ba-da-do-wee, boo-wee, da-ba-da-do-be-da, ba-do-dee-do, be-do, be-ba-do, bo-be-da, bo-be-da. Right? You hear what I'm singing?
Yeah.
That's a different approach from what you're doing.
Right.
So take the scales and practice fourths,
Okay.
fifths, sixths. Be-do-wee-do-dee-do, be-ba-da, bo-be-da, bo-be-do-dee-do, be-da, bo-be-da. See, I'm putting a little bit of metric stuff at the end of that. So explore the larger intervals that are available to you on this stuff, so you just don't sound like you go da-da-da-da-da-do-do-dee-dee-da-da-ba-da-da, which is okay, but it's almost always a scale type of approach.
Right.
So the way to have fun with a tune like this, which is a different groove and a cool different set of chord changes, is to expand what you want to do to approach the tune. And you probably don't work on playing wide intervals very often.
No.
Yeah, so that would be a great way for you to kind of alter the landscape of how you're playing.
Okay.
I like the note choices, but I think just the shape that you go after could be much better. That's just the general thing for soloists, people. Whenever you find yourself, that's kind of what I do. I'm a jazz trumpet player. That's my main thing. But when Jim Rotundi, this great jazz trumpet player for New York, was in town the last couple of years, he's been staying with me because we've become good friends. But I always say, hey, stay at my place and give me a lesson, Jim. And I complained to him, I'm like, this is what I do for a living. But I said, I find myself playing the same stuff over and over again. How do I get away from that? And he said that it seems like the simplest concept. But he says, okay, so you're playing, you think about playing something, right? And right before you play it, don't play it. And the next idea that you came up with, don't play that either. And I was like, huh. So, the very next time, I go in there to play, right after, 3 minutes after that, and it just completely transformed the way I went after the tune we were playing on. And that's something that you all have to think about as soloists. You might approach this song one way, but quit doing your same way as often as you possibly can. Push yourself and make all the mistakes you can in the jazz band rehearsal. That's okay. That's the time when it is to experiment as a soloist. There's no safer environment than that. So push yourself as soloists to try different things. Get out of your comfort zone as players and push yourself to try different stuff, because that's the only way you're going to make any real marked improvement in your solo. Okay? All right. Great to hear your band. Sounds awesome for this time of year. Can't wait to hear you later on. So keep up the good work, folks.